Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second podcast of our Future Ready series by Lim-Loges and Masters. Lim-Loges and Masters help companies in managing change through three services: disruption management, executive search, and transition management. Lelia Lim, Managing Partner Asia Pacific, is here with us at the studio. Lelia has close to 30 years of experience in the natural resources industry and in executive search, previously at Korn Ferry International for close to 13 years. Lelia, welcome.
Thank you, Ruben. It's great to be back again. Everyone, welcome to our series of podcasts. We are so excited to have another special guest today. This is our Future Ready series, and today we are still exploring the world of influencers. This time we have a special guest from Asia. Her name is Felicia Cheong. She's based in Malaysia, and she's a graduate in communications, advertising, and PR, and has been a social media strategist for the last 5 years. Welcome, Felicia.
Hi everyone. So my name is Felicia. So I'm a beauty and lifestyle content creator, and as what Lelia said, I've been in the social media industry for about 5 years. I've been working in an agency role for the past 5 years, ever since I graduated. You can find me on Instagram. It's at EEKED, and on YouTube, it's also EEKED.
Yeah, good to have you, Felicia.
Thank you.
I mean, the audience that we have today are so fascinated by this world of influencing and vlogging. We want to know more about what you do. So how did you start as an influencer?
Well, it all started 4 years ago, not with the intention of being an influencer, really. But it's more of an intention to really share. So I really have a passion for beauty. So back then, I remember 4 years ago, my mom bought me a Christmas present. It was a Kiehl's moisturizer. So I decided, okay, you know what? I should just review about it. I really like the moisturizer, and it's sort of snowballed into something bigger. I realized that Kiehl's then, Kiehl's the beauty brand, then reached out to me, and we started doing collaborations, and they started giving me products, and I started reviewing them. And then it kind of just snowballed to other brands also latching on to the opportunity as well. And obviously I was really excited, right? You get free beauty products, you get to review it, and you get to try different things. So yeah, that is how I basically started.
Wow. I mean, is that what you do as an influencer all the time? You receive products, you review it, you talk about it. Do you ever reject products?
Oh, yeah.
What exactly do you do?
Well, the thing is, the word influencer, because the thing is, a lot of influencers don't really like calling themselves influencer for some reason. Really. So I think the word influencer kind of just means someone that just influences. So usually influencers would like to call themselves as content creators. So reason being, we kind of create content for brands. It really depends on the individual. So for example, when for me especially, when I receive a product, I kind of want to make sure that I have some sort of relatability with the product itself, that I actually like the product before sharing it out. Yes, I have rejected some products, mainly because for example, some of the beauty products or some of the lifestyle products doesn't really suit my lifestyle or doesn't really suit my skin. So then I'll reject them. I don't really want to have some sort of, I just don't really want to share something that I don't really like, I guess.
Yes.
So what exactly I do as an influencer, I guess I would say is to really create content for brands. I think brands nowadays are looking into influencer marketing, because I guess we help brands and products to be more relatable to their audience. So I guess because brand and product will just be brand and product without really much of a voice. Yes. I think influencers really help to come in and give more of a relatable view to the brand or a product. So I think that is what exactly we do, I guess. Yeah.
So it creates a persona, doesn't it,
Correct.
around the product?
Correct.
Did you need any specific qualifications or skills to become a content creator, as you put it?
The easy answer. There's no really an exact answer for this, honestly. Because you can really be a person of influence. Doesn't matter how big of an influencer you are, how small of an influencer you are, But I think having editing or art or photography skills really help in this segment. Because obviously when you are on Instagram, for example, or on YouTube, a lot of things like visual really plays a big role in the influencer industry. It really helps to, keep, I guess brands do want to see some sort of content creation, some sort of value, artistic value in your content. So I guess when it comes to skills, I guess editing, art and photography is definitely a skill that it's sort of a must-have. But then again, nowadays, especially this year onwards, I think a lot of people are starting to be really attracted to more raw content, in a sense that, non-edited content. So you don't really need an editing skill. You just have to be relevant. So I think when it comes to skills, it's just I guess it's just what you want to, what your niche is. So for instance, if you want to be a musician influencer, then I guess you have to, have some sort of music skills, for example. If you want to, you want to be more on TikTok, for example. You want to be a dancer, then you have to have dancing skills. So it really is dependent on what your niche is, I guess.
And I guess you'd want to be real. I think that's the important message here, right?
Yeah.
How do you come up with all your ideas? Content creation is really about, and you mentioned it just now, being artistic, constantly thinking out of the box, being able to engage. How do you come up with constant ideas? There's so much pressure around that.
I guess for me, I see a lot of ideas and I get inspiration online, on Instagram, on Pinterest, on YouTube. I think it really helps when I'm just alert in the online world. But I think most importantly is to get I get ideas from my peers, like my friends and family members. Like before I post something up or like I do a particular content direction, I would just kind of get opinions from my friends before I do that. Like I just want to see, how would they relate to it and how they feel about it and what can I do better from there. I think, I think ideas come. I think ideas get better when we get opinions from our friends and family.
Yeah. Yes. I suppose just rounding off their opinions and making sure it's relatable, as you say, right? And so do you consider yourself successful, Felicia, or how do you measure success in the world of influencing and content creation?
Well, I don't think I'm in a position to say that I'm successful. I guess I'm always striving to do better and to be more successful. I guess I do. What I can share is that some of the success tips I read about that I learned from other influencers from YouTube and from other things that I received. I think one of the most important things to be successful in the influencer industry is to find your niche, find what you like, find your passion. Then you create, then you relate, and after you create and relate, you have to reflect on your content. See whether your audiences are relating to you. What your audiences think about your content. What are the comments received. And most importantly, I think it's very important to be consistent, which personally, I struggle. It's hard. It's hard to be consistent with your content. It's hard to put up content every week. Like you said, coming up with ideas consistently is not exactly the easiest thing in the world. So I think being consistent is very, very important in this industry.
Yes. And do you vlog or do you blog constantly every week, or is it every few days? Do you have that kind of pressure?
I think so recently, just a shameless plug, I've been doing Vlogmas. Vlogmas is a series of vlogs prior to Christmas. So I've been trying to do vlogs every 2 days or so. I don't think there's much of a pressure, but it's more of like I try to churn out content, because you have to film, you have to edit, you have to also, before you film, you kind of have to think about, what's going to happen like throughout the day, because you can't be just like, sitting in your PJs at home and just do absolutely nothing. You kind of have to, you have to have some sort of a topic. I think these kind of things really goes behind the scenes when you do vlogging and like content creating.
Yes. So in the same way, that's how you help companies, isn't it? It's that question of being real and passionate at the same time as an influencer. Do you have measures of success with companies? How do they measure success with you?
I think for companies, when it comes to metrics, I think a lot of them look at your audience segment. For instance, for brands, if let's say your product is a baby milk powder, for example, they want to be able to attract audiences that relate to that product. So they will look for influencers that are mothers, for instance, or fathers, right? So I think where your audience is from, how your audience engage to you as an influencer is very important. It's a very important metric. Then obviously after these two metrics, you would then have your reach, how many people that you're reaching, how many engagements does your content have, how much talkability your content has. I think that those are the metrics that we consider as to help companies to better run their products and better market their products. Yeah.
Yes, and we see this as an alternative to TVC nowadays, don't we? Leveraging of influencers.
Correct. I think as influencers, I think a lot of brands and companies they reach out to influencers because again they want to be able to relate to people. I think especially as consumers, we purchase something when we feel like that product relates. We feel some sort of relatability with the product. We don't just, I think advertising kind of just changes over time. How we consume products very different than how people in the past consume products. We don't just see it in a TVC now and just decided that we should just go to the store and get the products. Nowadays, everybody's at home. So there's a whole journey, like online journey as to how we consume products these days.
Yeah, and you'd want to be convincing in a very real way, unlike TVCs that tend to sort of it stages everything, doesn't it?
Correct.
Staged.
Yeah. I think it also helps with like a two-way communication. So like TVC, you don't really get much of a two-way communication other than you just if you call a hotline for instance. But I guess with influencers, you get a two-way communication, as in you get to comment on an influencer's post, you get to share. I think the journey goes beyond just reaching a consumer. You get a post journey as well. Like a journey to purchase the product as well. So I think that is what companies are seeing, the benefits of influencer marketing these days.
Oh, well, and we talked a little bit about how you need it to be consistent, you need it to have editing skills, you need to have photography skills, etc. How do you intend to sustain your career as an influencer or a content creator?
I think a lot of influencers or content creators these days, the sustaining part, it can be a bit draining because obviously we are doing pretty much the same thing, right? Every day, the cycle just goes on. But I guess it really depends on each of the influencer. Being an influencer really opens up a lot of pathways. You can open up a business of your choice. You can, do production for TVC. You can do podcasts.
Yes.
You can do a lot of things. It's really up to what your passion is really like. But for me, I think my pathway is towards creating my own brand. In future, I would like to create my own product, and I would like to market it. I think that is just something that I am just particularly more passionate about.
So talking about sustainability, I'm just curious, do you have any views about how influencing could change in the next 5 years?
Well, I foresee definitely it's going to be more competitive, because I guess we have now everybody and anybody can be online. Anybody and everybody can be an influencer. You can be a small influencer and you can still make an influence. Especially now that we have more social media platforms mushrooming in the industry. We have TikTok being more famous this year due to the pandemic. People are home. People are creating more videos on TikTok. I think even on TikTok, we have more TikTok influencers who are only famous on TikTok. So I think it's definitely going to be more competitive. But I think it also, it will change in a way. We will see a lot of influencer collaborations with businesses. I think influencers will then create their own products, their own business. I think it's just going to be definitely more innovative in the future, in the next 5 years especially.
Oh, that's interesting. And you talked about competition, could you elaborate a little bit more? Is that your biggest challenge really? Or is content creation your biggest challenge, or engaging with companies your biggest challenge? What do you think the challenges could look like?
I guess the biggest challenge as an influencer today is to stand out amongst your competitors. I think especially now we have a lot of influencers coming about. Standing among your competition is one of the biggest challenges. Other than that, I think especially this year, sharing sensitive issues is a challenge, because then it will just snowball into negative comments. Different people have different opinions these days, and it's so easy for people to go online and just comment something negative behind their computers. So I think to be able to be prepared for these challenges really help. I think it's just some of the things that we have to overcome and be prepared for.
Yes, no, I understand. Cyberbullying is becoming a real issue around mental illnesses, definitely contributing to illnesses in the young. But let's look at the crystal ball for 1 minute and talk about what opportunities could look like in the future for you.
I think, essentially, I don't want to go so cliche, but essentially I think the opportunity is that being an influencer gives you a voice. I know it's so cliche, I know, right? But I think especially these days, there's so many things happening. I think it really gives a voice for everyone and anyone to speak out. I think especially now we have so many big issues and important issues that we want to address in the world. I think it just gives everybody a chance to be of an influence. But I think another opportunity could be that we can create our own businesses. I think for me especially, I think my biggest opportunity is that I want to create my own business. I want to create my own brand. So I think that is the pathway that I'm heading towards. And I think especially being an influencer, to create your own brand, I think as an influencer, we can also promote our own brand, which is like, for example, Kylie Jenner. She puts on her own lipstick, and obviously her fans would her fans would purchase her product. So I think that's a huge opportunity there.
Yes, no, absolutely. I mean, you talked about business, you talk about your own brand, all those things come together in creating a right platform for you. But you see a need, therefore, for succession planning. Do you see a mini Felicia in order to follow in your footsteps so that you can be free to do a little bit more planning, business development, creating your own products? That all takes time and it does take mental space as well.
Correct. I do foresee myself having a team in the future if I ever plan to create my own product. I would want to have my own team of marketers, the product development and everything. I think that is just something that in a pipeline, I hope in the next 5 years. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I am so excited for you, really.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Just what advice?
Sorry, just a hint. But the product that I'm going to be creating it has something to do with pets. Yeah, it has to do something to do with pets. It's just my passion. I recently got a dog just a couple months back, and it inspired me to sort of do pet products. That's all I can say. It hasn't launched, but yeah.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. People love their pets as much as their children, I would say.
Yeah.
Or maybe even more.
No, even more, honestly.
Even more, absolutely. So what advice would you give anyone thinking of becoming an influencer of tomorrow? Maybe your top 3 tips for the day. Yeah.
I guess to know why you started. I think that's very important. That's like the number one key, right? To have a goal and, stick to it, know why do we want to do this in the first place. I think most importantly is to be consistent in what you do. It doesn't matter if you are good, doesn't matter if you are bad, just keep creating, keep, doing what you love. I think as audience, we see passion through lenses. We can see passion through the content that influencers create. So I think it's very important to just be consistent, be relevant, and yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for today, Felicia. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
For our audience out there, please keep in touch with us. Join Lim-Loges and Masters on our LinkedIn page for updates, and also on our website, which is at LimLoges&Masters.com. And our next podcast is next month. So we look forward to seeing you soon with another new special guest. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Stay in touch with Lim-Loges and Masters on LinkedIn and watch out for our next Future Ready podcast. Goodbye and have a lovely day.